This show is a Phonic Media production.
We arrive at episode number 9, and we're talking about a very important subject today on the podcast. We're talking all about finding your
passion. Ooh, let's talk about passion.
Don't you know what I'm like when you give it that weird voice? Hey, friend, how are you? Hope you're doing well.
Hi, friend.
Happy Tuesday if you're listening live in real time. Happy Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday if you're listening not in real time. You can download this podcast every single week at 5 a.m. UK time on a Tuesday, and you can watch this whole podcast if you like on full YouTube brilliance.
Do you remember when you used to be in the 5 a.m. club?
I'm still in it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not in the club, but I'm still at go up at 5.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. 4-5 days a week, I still get up at 5.
Really?
Yeah, just the last 2 days.
Yeah, okay.
I did that really annoying thing this morning where I snoozed my alarm for like an hour.
That was yesterday.
And today. I've done it again today as well. I'm like, why would I do that? Just give like broken sleep for an hour. But I quite liked it because I was doing that weird dozing thing. Do you know what? I know that they listen to this podcast. Yesterday, I had a dream about some of our school mum friends.
What?
Claire and Claire, who were on your podcast.
They were on my Family Unfiltered podcast,
which was
Claire and Claire.
A very good episode. I dreamed that me, you, Claire and Claire were holiday reps, and we worked in like a sort of like a Magaluf style bar. And we were getting set up for like an evening of entertainment, and Claire were finding it hilarious because I couldn't find any of the backing tracks that I needed, and all that Claire had was just some like 80s, like really inappropriate.
Is this blonde Claire or brown hair Claire?
This is brown hair Claire.
Amazing.
Had an iPad full of like old, really inappropriate 80s, like really, really stuff, politically incorrect comedians. And she went, why don't you just lip sync some comedy? And I was like, how's that going to work? I don't know it.
And
we were just all laughing.
Great. And actually, that's so
funny. I was having dreams
funny.
of Claire and Claire.
Because when we worked as entertainers abroad, I'd say that was one of my most favourite times of my life.
What?
When we worked overseas with Thomas Cook. So it's funny that you said that about the dream. We're talking about passion. I was like, actually, that was like one of my fondest time of my life.
Yeah. So for those who, I don't think, have we ever explained the story? I think we did it in depth in an episode that never made the light of day.
And then we just like, that's so boring. We didn't do it. So back in the
day, me and Hayley, how old were you? 18, 19?
I started when I was 19.
Yeah, I did as well. So we were both holiday reps for Thomas Cook, the now unfortunately
no longer there
company.
So I started straight as an entertainer. So we would be put in a hotel in a team of 4 or 5 of you, and you were classed as like the show team, and you would go on a training course at the start of the year, do you remember?
Yeah.
To learn all of these singing and dancing shows. Yeah, that's how we met. And then you'd go out to your resort, and effectively from say March till end of October, you would do like a 2-week entertainment program. So in the evening it would be from like kids disco, bingo, then there'd be like game shows, and then like these full production shows with costumes, etc. And then in the day you had to do like all these sports events and like water polo, all of this kind of fun. It was super fun though. It was such a great time of our life.
It was. That was my university, I think.
Yeah, the university of life.
I didn't go to uni, so.
And when you think back then, like I laugh because I probably took it way too seriously.
Oh, same here.
I got a boyfriend within about 2 weeks of turning up in my first resort in Magaluf, who I was with for like 3.5 years.
Rocket.
So that was like, no, but you know, like you hear a lot of people like just had so much fun. I'm not saying about like putting it around, like some, but just like I was in like this kind of serious relationship that was just kind of like easy, if that makes sense. And then I, I worked my way up. I didn't, not even intentionally, but I became like a manager. So, and then when I look back, like all these problems, and it's funny because I look and I think if I went back now, I guess I wouldn't do anything differently, but if I could tell myself, just enjoy every second, you know?
This goes back to a conversation that we were having earlier before we started recording today about there's just certain people in life who will go above and beyond, that always want to better themselves, that always want to improve. And then there's others that don't. And there's nothing wrong with either circumstance. But like you say there with the holiday repping thing, I was the same. I took it way too seriously. Yeah. I used to get really annoyed if people would like turn up like, we were like, don't get me wrong, we were like 19, 20 years old. You'd work 16 hours, like
21 hour days.
Yeah, 16. No, I think it's 16 hour days, 6 days a week, or 5.5 days a week. You get a half day off, wouldn't you? So you were like non-stop working. You're out in the sunshine. It's hot. But all you would do is like you'd finish work at midnight.
Yeah, go out.
Go home, have a quick shower, and then go out till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And then do the whole thing again.
Get up, get into work for 9.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, but then. I used to get so annoyed if people would turn up late for work and if stuff wasn't working. We ended up having to rebuild an entire stage set at one point, and the hotel manager said, well, I haven't got budget for new equipment, so you have to get the old equipment out. So I had to literally learn how to like build a mixing desk, and the whole thing was like, I was like, this is ridiculous. But actually you look back and you're like, fuck, what just fun. However, no responsibilities. They paid you rent.
Oh God, you got like, they give you somewhere to live. Oh,
it's just brilliant.
It was so good. Although that was the time of like dial-up internet, and you didn't have social media and stuff. Like,
it'd be different now.
It would be very different now. Like, imagine singing. I had to sing like Titanic in one of our shows. I mean, it was like hit and miss. And I smoked a lot of fags back then as well.
More miss than hit.
And I think back then we thought we were like great. Imagine if social media, someone was like, oh my God, like taking a video clip. Listen to this girl like hitting this bum note or something. You'd have just been mortified, wouldn't you?
But also, I think because we didn't have social media in the way that it was, like back on your day off, the routine was like you get up like whatever time. Sort of normally go to like a greasy spoon cafe for a fry-up because you can't get a fry because you're in Spain, even though every bloody restaurant is like British basically.
Oh, so good.
You then go and like get your phone card. Do you remember you get like a €10 phone card, which give you like 60 minutes. You phone home, you phone all your mates back home. You go to the dial-up internet cafe.
Love it.
You get like an hour for like €5.
Put the money in the machine. Oh my God, we're so old.
But it was so different. But whereas now, if you could be on your phone in contact, because like then it sounds ridiculous, right? I was in Menorca the first season, and it's what, a 2.5 hour flight? It might as well have been the other side of the planet.
I know, it felt like it back then, didn't it?
But it wouldn't these days, would it? Because you're so interconnected and because you can keep in contact. You know, like your brother lives in Australia.
Yeah.
Like we WhatsApp him all the time. Like most days you're like WhatsApping. You can phone him. All right, we need to get better at phoning him.
Yeah, you can do like a video call like
instantly. You can do a video call
yeah.
instantly so he can see the kids. You just didn't have that back in those days. So it was a different experience.
But talking about passion, and it is interesting because we said we loved it back then. We absolutely loved it. I worked abroad for like 5 years. But towards the end of those 5 years, I didn't love it as much as when I started because things change. And it's a really good learning about passion because I think in business or in your job, if you work, whatever you do, as soon as that spark has gone, it's time to reflect, change or something in it. Do you know what I mean? And when we worked there, like it went from being this company where you were like this show team, and I remember they used to send your costumes out and they were all for you and you looked after them and you sent them back and they got cleaned at the end of the year and the shows were epic. By year 5, the shows were getting a bit more sloppy. The way they'd been put together weren't as great. The costumes, you literally got to resort and it was like whatever was left. I remember my final year in Cyprus, I was doing a show on the stage and the lights actually blew up like at the plug because they had just been so like unmaintained and the stage was like, the outdoor stage had like dents in that was just like you couldn't even dance on it. And then, you know, like what I mean is it's funny, isn't it? Because actually looking back, the people that were like really in charge had kind of left and it all just got a bit like lost its way a bit. And so when we left, I was actually quite happy, like I'd had a good time. It was time to go. It
was time to go, yeah.
And then like fast forward all of these years, all the different careers that me and you have both done, it's only now where we're like, not saying, you know, things are still being tweaked and changing, but what we're doing is 100% aligned with like a passion of ours. And I think that's really important.
But you've also, I think, got to be aware that the longer you do something, the less... not passion you're going to have for it, but it is just going to be different. It's just going to change. Like when you first went away, you know, when we were 19 years old and you're living abroad and your job is to make people laugh and have a good time and you're out in the sunshine, you end up forming these super deep relationships with friends because you're like almost become like a family because you haven't got your family there. So it's going to, over the years, it becomes more, you know, the first time that I remember I went for like the job interview, got the job, and they said, right, you've got to go to a training. It was different because I wasn't a holiday rep. I wasn't a singer and dancer at that time, guys. Fast became one. But we had to go to a training course on like how to be a rep up in Stockport in Manchester. Jesus Christ, that was a week of drinking I'll never forget. But then at the end of that week, so you would find out if you'd actually got the job or not on the Friday, and then they'd give you they would tell you which resort. So again, even in these 5 days, you've made like super close friendships because again, you're working like 16 hours a day. It's a high pressure environment. You're away from your usual situation. And then literally at 4 o'clock, we got given, hey, congratulations, we'd like to offer you the job. Wow. You're going to be going to Menorca. Yeah. was like, oh, amazing. And most people then went home for a week or 2 weeks and then they flew out to a resort. Your flight leaves Manchester Airport at 9:30 tonight.
Did you have your case on you?
Had my case. So they tell you to take your case in case you go straight to a resort.
Wow.
But no one else apart from this little gang of us who were going went straight out. So we'd gone for this training course, and that same day...
You were there?
I was in Menorca at a hotel next to the airport. And I was like, oh my God. And we were sat, I remember I had a really good friend at the time called Will, and we were sat outside, and he was like, how the hell has this happened?
Yeah, how funny.
We just like sat outside in this, like having a fag on the balcony in Spain. I was like, we're in Spain,
There's just
mate.
that
Like,
feeling,
we're doing
you know,
it.
like when you go on holiday and you get that, like, you know, when you get off the aeroplane, I always think this is how I feel that kind of heat hit you.
Yeah.
And it's that feeling of like, I'm abroad, I'm overseas. And it was like that, wasn't it? Constant, like living in that environment. Like, I wish I could bottle that feeling up and just carry it with me forever, because it was just amazing.
It was magic. But like, sorry, the point I was making there though, that to start with, it's spectacular.
Yeah.
But what you do consistently becomes your norm.
Yeah,
and no matter how much you try and, like I say, you look back at it now, like, what were we worrying about? Why do we not just appreciate every day? Like, you could have done a free paddy training course, and I used to get asked to go and do these like boat trips and stuff. And you just hang out your ass to go. And you just sort of like missed out on these opportunities. But at the time, you don't realise. It's only when you look back retrospectively, like, what a missed opportunity or how brilliant that situation was. But anything that becomes, look at what you're doing now. You know, if I'd have said to you when you were leaving your sort of big entertainment career, in a couple of years' time, you'll be able to work from home. By the way, we'll live in a really nice house in the area we want to live in. You'll be able to do the work that you want to do from, the home office. Yeah. You'll earn more money than you've ever earned. You'd have bitten my hand off. But then even this...
And now it's like, I live it, and you don't appreciate the good side, because you're just focusing on all the things that, not failing at, but needs improving, or you're working
normal,
on.
Doesn't it?
It's like, when people say they turn their like passion into a hobby. Yeah. So mine was a passion, but it was like a work passion. Does that make sense? The passion of like designing websites, for example, or logos had always been through my work. But like some people who, I've heard it before, and I don't know if I'm making this up. It was like someone had a passion for like birds or something, and then they opened this like sanctuary, and then it become like a job, and then you lose the passion, or like you hear that. Do you know what I mean? So it is, I guess that's right. The passion of what you're doing can change when it becomes, I guess, more of a reality, or like is it because you're exchanging that hobby or that passion for money? I guess that changes it as well, makes it more serious, doesn't it? Yeah,
I guess so. One of our clients, Kurt Miller, he's a world famous PT, been on the front cover of Men's Health magazine like 8 times or something like that. But he was a professional footballer. Okay. And when he was growing up, he loved football. Loved football. At 13, Manchester United came to sign him.
Wow.
And he bottled it. And he said even at 13, he bottled it. He was too scared to do it and all the rest of it. And then he ended up signing for Coventry. So he still played like professional football at a good level. I think they were in the Championship at the time or something like that. So still like second tier football, which is very good. But he just had, as soon as it became his job,
it's like
he wasn't as passionate about it. But I think you've got to be aware that it's not always going to be beer and Skittles and rainbows and unicorns and every day's exciting. Like, if when I had a job, my first job back in broadcast PR, which I keep thinking about this week because I've been going back over there to film a new podcast series. That was in 2006.
Yeah.
So that's now... Yeah, what's that? No, sorry, 2007. So that's like 16 years ago now.
Yeah.
And if you'd have told me then that I would have eventually make a living making audio, and that I could make podcasts that we could make money from, and I would have a load of clients, and I'd have some staff.
And you'd have one with your wife, who's super funny.
Super funny wife.
Super talented.
Super delightful wife.
Why did you not repeat that?
What?
I said super funny.
Super funny.
And then I said super talented, and you didn't repeat it.
Moderately funny, moderately talented wife. This is uncomfortable. But even like the day-to-day of like running a podcast, I love podcasts.
But you get so bogged down in the day-to-day. And
it's not that you're not passionate about it, it just becomes different.
But also as well, like, you hear it a lot. Find your passion, create a business out of your passion, which I am 100% on board with. But like James says, it doesn't mean that it's going to be like, I was going to say beers and Skittles. Is that even a thing?
Yeah, beer and Skittles.
Nice. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be tough or hard work. I love what I do. I love it. I absolutely love it. But like, sometimes it's challenging or it's hard work. Do you know what I mean? And when I sit with clients and I go through like a consultancy of their branding, I do always ask about
these amazing consultancies.
No, I do like to tap into the passion of behind where they want to go to. And it could be like, I say to them, like, where do you see yourself in like 5-10 years? That's a really heavy question and not that easy to answer. But I do it because it's like, if someone's saying that they're going to build this business that is like, oh, you know, I'm going to have an office, I want to have like 200 staff, but their vision in say like 5 years is like, they want to be really free, they want to be able to just like travel, go anywhere they want. And do you know what I mean? It's like, you just have to make sure sometimes that is actually in alignment.
Yeah.
Because I do believe if you find something that you're passionate about in your job, your work, whether it's a business that you're running, whatever you're doing, I think having a passion or like a joy for what you do or pride in what you're doing is so important. It's so important. Like, I don't care what job you do. I am a massive believer that you do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
my dad always used to say it to
I
me.
get so annoyed at like bad customer service. Like, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like, you know when you go to a shop, say a clothes shop, and you're buying your clothes and you go to the till and you're going to pay, and it's like the two people behind the till, you know, if like there's a few, there's like a row, and they're just like talking to one another and they don't even acknowledge you. They're talking about where they went out last night, for example.
Zara
and they don't even acknowledge you.
Zara and Bromley,
like,
I've generally been there and exchanged money and I've not had a single word said to me. And I've actually, at the end of it, I've gone, really nice to talk to you, fantastic service, and then I walk out.
Awful. It's like you're in a customer service business.
Chantel, have you put the smalls away? Have you put the smalls away? No. Did you put them away? No, I didn't. I'm like, hello.
Or like in Zara is another one. Sorry to slag off Zara, but there's always, in the men's,
small business,
there's always a massive queue. But they never say, thank you so much for waiting. Sorry for any inconvenience. And it's like, just little touches like that just go such a long way. Whatever job you do, just having that, I don't know if like passion maybe is not the right word, but just being that like pride in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like someone, sorry, just talked over you there, but
no worries.
No, it's like the other day. Actually, it's Claire and Claire we're talking about a minute ago. I shared a video of one of the supermarket delivery firms.
Oh God, like smashing up their delivery.
Yeah, they turned up early and they weren't in. So the guy's like, well, "Where are you? When can I deliver it?" And they said, "At the time slot that I've booked." And then he proceeded to like drag I don't know if he was dragging the food back out because I guess he was going to go and come back, and then just left their porch open, their front gate open, and then just left. And it's like, that is just not.
You just don't need to.
No. And it's obviously for him, he's thinking, if I get this done early, I can get off early or whatever. I don't know. Just when you lose that passion or you lose that drive for what you're doing, it's time to, I would say, like, look at that. It doesn't necessarily mean you're in the wrong career or you don't want to be doing it. It might just be, what is it? Maybe it's that you're in a job, but suddenly you're feeling a bit like, where's the opportunity for like future growth? Or there might be parts of the job you're feeling you're getting a bit bogged down in, but actually you'd like to start helping over here. Like, I think it's really good to assess. I've done that this weekend. When we had this 24-hour, a couple of weekends ago, we had no children for 24 hours.
The golden window, I'm referring to it as the golden window.
I did do quite a bit of work, but then I also did a bit of like just sitting and just going like, I've been feeling a bit off at the minute. What is it? And I realised, like, I come back to the basic of what I love. What is it that I actually enjoy in my business? What parts do I want to focus on? What parts could I delegate? How do I want to grow it? What does it look like? And it just is completely ignited like a passion in me again. Not that it wasn't there, but it's like ignited. And I talk about this like flow. And when you're feeling good, like you get up, you're feeling good, aren't you? If you're feeling better about your work or your career, you feel better in your life. Like it's all like a circle, isn't it?
Virtuitous
like the
circle
of life.
The circle of life. We've not even done our review of the week. Hang on a second. Right.
We went straight into business and life.
Yeah, we did. We got straight in there. Sorry about that. First,
you get straight in there sometimes, don't you, James?
Well, give it a go. If you heard last week, though, if you listened to last week's podcast, doing all right, though, haven't we?
Yeah, we put in some really, really dedicated time to improving those areas, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Anyway, what we normally like to do is shout out somebody who's given us a lovely review, but we've completely forgotten to do it until now, so we're going to do it right now. Great real life couple podcast. 5 stars. This is from Razinkel. I love this podcast, the reality of marriage, family life and young kids and running a business. Made me laugh loads from start to finish. It's great to listen to an open conversation on all these subjects. Lots of things that couples and parents and business owners don't admit to. This is real life. Well done, James and Hayley, for producing this podcast. I'm going to stop us right there. I think we've already shouted out Razinkel before.
Oh, no.
So you've messed up. So would you like to say sorry to everybody?
Sorry, everyone. I've let myself down. I've let you down. I've let
Who else
the podcast down. I've let James down. Yeah, I don't really know how to rectify that.
This is because when you're the funny one, and I used to be the funny one, you just think you could just turn up and wing this stuff.
No, I don't know. I prepare.
Be prepared.
Oh, well, never mind.
There we go.
Maybe we should move on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do though. We will do our, as we're doing stuff now, because we've got sort of like chatting about the conversation there, about passion. Before we do the next thing though, that whole thing, because you mentioned it a minute ago, turn your passion in, like there's a guy who sells loads of training courses and stuff, I don't fucking like him, but turn your passion into your profit.
Yeah.
Turn passion into profit. Do you actually believe in that?
Well, yeah. I think you can monetize your passion, yeah.
You do?
Well, yeah, that's what I've done, really, isn't it?
Fucking legend, aren't you?
Look at this podcast.
You're a fucking legend. Anyway, small business.
Although there's no money yet.
Hey, we're on the Audi network.
We are on the Audi network.
It's only a matter of time before that cash money, before that Skrilla.
They've been shouting us out as well. Thank you, Audi.
Thank you, Audi. We love you very much. Right, small business shout out time. Small business. Would you like to talk about a small business? Oh yes, small business.
This I have to say. So a couple of weeks ago, James was like, I need to get my haircut. And George was due a haircut. And Louis, well, he's trying to grow his hair. But I was like, seriously, dude, it is not good.
Why does he want to grow his hair?
I think to be like his little friend.
His little mate Jacob. Oh my God, the kid is obsessed with him.
Who's got lovely hair. Anyway. So
he says he's got a crush on Jacob, didn't he?
Yeah.
What does a crush mean? It means I was like, oh, it means you love someone. He went, oh, okay, I've got a crush on Jacob. I'm
like, love it.
Fine, fair enough. Good
anyway,
luck with that.
So James like, I'm going to get my haircut. So I managed to convince Louis that he was going to get a haircut too. So we went along.
He's never had a haircut in a barbershop, has he?
Never,
He's always had it done by Nanny.
So we went along to your barber's and it was so sweet. So like all three of them were sat in a row in their chair getting their haircut. But I have to say, talking about like customer service, each one of the guys in this barber's were just amazing. Like amazing with the kids, chatted to you, friendly, but like engagingly talking. Do you know what I mean? Like
it's not just
talking about the kids, you know, and then like give them like a lollipop at the end. Like, just absolutely amazing.
Well. Everybody walks in. Dev knows them by name.
Really?
And they've obviously been going there for years. And the people of a certain age, I guess like my age, who bring their kids in, he knows the kids, he knows their names.
So
He's just a really good guy.
They're called the Barber's Lounge in Chislehurst. And if you go onto Instagram, you can find them at Barber's Lounge _ Belmont, Belmont.
If you want a fantastic haircut and you live in South East London,
they obviously you might have to be in the area, but we're all about shouting out businesses, small, large. We try to do small business, to be fair. But for us, we want it to be, if people have emailed in and told us about your business, which you can do, please email, message, Instagram us, whatever's easier. Just get the easiest way of getting in touch with us, do it. Because we would love to shout out your small business. But for us, if we've used it, engaged with it, that's kind of what we want, isn't it? Yeah. So the Barber's Lounge, I just loved the experience. It was fantastic. Yeah. Just really friendly, really great at what they do. Great barbers, but like I say, they've just got a really nice outfit, because sometimes you can go into these I went into, because they couldn't see me a couple of weeks ago in time, and I was like, I can't remember where I was going, but I was like, I need to get my hair cut, so I went to a new one around the corner. And you know when you don't really know anybody, and obviously you get that experience the first time you walk in somewhere, but it's a bit intimidating, and it's a bit like, and then the only banter's like, oh yeah bro, you know, who do you support football team? Like, is that the only banter that we've got? Like, so if you go to a hairdresser, you're a girl, you have to talk about holidays. If you go in, you're a guy, you have to talk about football. So I don't really support anyone. Wow.
And then there was fucking nothing else to be said.
This place was not like it. It was absolutely fantastic. So a massive small business shout out to the Barber's Lounge, Chislehurst.
And yes, if you Google them, just Google them, and then you can even book in. Because I know what you're thinking. You might be thinking, oh, I'd love to go to the barber shop, but surely they haven't got, I can't book an appointment. I ain't got all day to be there. You can. They've got like a booksy, fancy, linky thing. So just Google them, Barber's Lounge, Chislehurst, and then you can book up via their booksy link, and then you can pick your time slot.
Amazing.
And go see Dev and the lovely fellas down at the Barber's Lounge. That is our small business shout out for today. Small business, small mother flipping business. You want to do that straight away, do you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hayley is just absolutely barking orders at me today. It's time for, we've done small business, let's go straight to the next thing. It's time for Who's a mug? Who's a mug? Have you been a mug? Who's a mug? Who's a mug? Have you been a mug? Who's been a mug?
Oh my God, I love it. So I'm so happy that people are
emailing in, everybody.
Well, they're actually Instagramming me, but that's great.
Fine.
We love it.
They're Instagramming everybody.
However, courier, pigeon, whatever. So this is...
Remember when we went to the train station once and the pigeon's foot fell off?
I can never unsee that. It was Marylebone. I never forget that. It was at Marylebone train station.
At the same time. Disgusting.
You met me from lunch. I used to work in Marylebone and at the theatre promoters.
This
and we were having this
lovely
romantic lunch.
Of a pasty.
And a pigeon, so it was in the station, like the train station. A pigeon landed on our table and we were like, oh, fuck off, pigeon. And then as it flew off, it just left its foot behind with blood. It was absolutely rank. Talking of birds, I know we need to move on. Do you remember as well when we were on the motorway? No lie. We was on the motorway.
A bird did it in the office the other day, flew into the window.
No, we was on the motorway and this... I genuinely was listening to some 80s kind of ballads and the song Take These Broken Wings was playing.
So take
We're driving along the motorway and all of a sudden it's like bang, it's massive bang, and we'd gone under a bridge and I remember going, oh my God, has someone just jumped? I thought someone had jumped off the bridge and hit our car.
Wasn't it?
And he's like, no, honestly, I think it was just a bird. I'm like, no, you're lying, aren't you? What was it? And you went, no, it's a bird. And as I looked to my left, no lie, there was an imprint of a bird on my window, like where its eye was, its wing, everything. And oh my, like obviously I felt really sad for the bird, but we could not stop laughing.
God,
do you remember?
So funny.
Oh, anyway, it wasn't funny. Poor bird. Anyway.
If Peter.
So this is from Claire Wilders, and so she said, I have been a bit of a mug. Because
good admitting, Claire.
She didn't realise that, well, would it have been a week and a half ago, the clocks went forward. So Claire, who had to be on a CPD course,
Continued professional development.
She had to go to London. So she had to get up early at 5:30, to which she set her alarm.
Of course.
Not realising that it was actually 4:30 in the morning. What a mug!
What? Oh, sorry.
Claire!
You've been a mug.
Claire!
Who's a mug? Claire has been a mug.
But what I love more is that she said that's the time. That used to be my Saturday night bedtime when I was in my 20s and 30s.
And now it's the time. There is a switch over in life,
and now
isn't
it's the time you get up. I love it.
So Claire, you have been a mug, but at least you're early.
I love it. Yeah.
And hopefully the people who were running the CPD course respected how tardy you were.
Hopefully you got to have a nice cup of tea at the station and you didn't have like some dirty pigeon leaving his rank foot behind.
Talking about if you are having a cup of tea, Claire, you might have been a mug, but congratulations. You've got to win yourself Winners Club. Not Winners Club, what's it called? Business Marriage Mug. So it's because I know Claire from the Winners Club. That's how I know. So Claire, you've won a mug.
Also, we want to encourage anyone who wins a mug to share pictures with us of you using your mug.
So check out our social media at Business Marriage Pod, and hopefully you will see Claire's beautiful face holding up a lovely mug. Aww. She's been a mug. Who's a mug? Who's a mug? Claire's been a mug.
Oh, I like it.
Who's a mug? Come on, twice through. Claire's been a mug. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it, bruv.
Right, it's time for our special segment.
Time for the special segment. Okay, let's do it. What happens in the special segment?
Oh, it's dramatic.
Is it too dramatic?
Yeah, I wanted like a bit more like a passion, love.
Okay. You want a bit of that, do you?
Yeah.
I got something for you.
I want something passion.
That's passionate.
Oh yeah.
I'm so bunged up. I'm so sorry.
I'll get over it. You know when you've been together for a long time.
Yeah.
And there's things that perhaps when you first met you used to do.
Yeah.
And then as the years go on, you just don't fucking bother.
Can't be asked.
This is called When the Passion Has Died. So, in our last week's episode, you obviously heard us do a marriage audit. And there were some areas...
We passed, guys.
There were some areas like, you know, our appearance and, you know, maybe our sex life that maybe needed a bit of work. So I thought, why not revisit this and let's just reflect on the things that maybe change over time.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd start writing some down, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Do you remember when you first get together, how exciting everything is? Do you remember we used to talk we spoke on the phone once?
We used to be on MSN
Messenger.
And it was like we'd sit up till 4 a.m.
We chatted that late one night. Your dad got up and went to work. You're like, oh, my dad's just got up.
So this is it. This is this section.
MSN.
So basically, back then, me and James would sit all night on MSN chatting. If you said to me now, James, you're going to be in your office, and I can either watch some shit TV and go to bed, or sit up on MSN Messenger to talk to you online until 4 a.m, I would be like, fuck off. You just wouldn't do it.
No.
But what is it? Like when you first meet, it's like you just do anything to spend like nanoseconds with that person.
It's just exciting, isn't it? It's just exciting.
It's like we used to travel. You know, like you'd be out singing, for example, and you'd be back early hours Sunday, rather than just meeting up with you on the Monday. I used to go and stay at your house when you weren't even there, just so I could be there.
Desperate.
It's a bit stalkery, isn't it?
Desperate. You loved it.
But this is basically the vibe. So I thought we could just chuck in the ring some things that I don't know. Did we do it?
I've just had a flashback.
What?
Do you remember the
I was about to say the Batman,
pajamas?
the Batgirl. It was like a little short set. I think I've still got the top in my memory box. How weird's that?
Get it out.
No,
next
I'll
section
find it.
You get that out.
But again, so here we go. So I started writing a list, and I'm like, for me, it was quite easy. I was thinking, when we first got together, you hate cuddling in bed, right?
Yeah.
You're like roll over, that's it.
I just get hot.
But when we first got together, we used to share a single bed.
Yeah.
I remember I had a single bed, and we used to proper spoon and cuddle all night.
Yeah.
And that's only because we were new relationship. So you do whatever you do
I used to wake up
to
feeling like my arm had been broken because I was tucked underneath you.
Yeah, but we just wouldn't do it anymore.
No, would I fuck him? Get away from me.
Wearing nice underwear. We've had this conversation before. I don't give a fuck. I'll wear whatever. If it was my maternity knickers, I don't give a shit.
Honestly,
it's very rare. We went out the other week and I was like, oh my God, I've got a matching pyjama set, a matching underwear set. I'm just going to wear this.
I walked in and I was like, have I missed 9 months of the year and it's fucking Christmas again?
Yeah, honestly, it's I just don't care. But then, I don't know, back then, did you used to think about what boxer shorts you wore?
Well,
that have been a consideration?
Yeah, well, I guess you just sort of make sure you've
not got any skids in it.
Yeah, no skids. Make sure it's all trimmed and stuff. You know, when you're new to a relationship.
Trim. I very rarely shave my legs.
You don't shave anything.
I do.
It's like the Forest of Dean down there.
It's not. I had laser, guys. I had a laser.
Oh God! Do you remember you did that?
Oh, fucking painful.
Wasn't it 2,000 quid to get your
God,
your bikini waxed?
Might hurt. What? It's like someone putting a fucking lightsaber up your fanny.
Every Saturday, you'd go and get lasered on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, it's when I worked in London. I used to go to Victoria.
Weird.
But yeah, it's like that. You'd go on a date. You'd make sure you were well groomed, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well groomed. I'm just laughing at some of our first dates. And it's one of our first dates, we went to see Blood Brothers show. Do you remember? We'd booked a hotel. Yeah. We'd known each other for quite a while, so we booked a hotel to stay in. Do you remember? And it was really weird.
That was only our second date, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it sounds a bit random because we booked this hotel just to go and have a night out in London. We went out for dinner. Do you remember? We ate way too much food. Yeah. Really bloated. Went and sat and watched the show.
TGI Fridays or somewhere.
And I say to James, this is a bit some people hate this, but
do you remember the woman tried to nick your handbag as a proof that you shouldn't leave your handbag?
You shouldn't leave your handbag there. Look, someone's just nicked it. I was like, I just saw you do
it. It was what a weird thing to do.
But the point is that if I was to go out now and eat a massive meal, go and watch the show, I'd probably be sat there through the show thinking, oh my God, my belly is bubbling. I need to do a massive fart. And I'd probably just fart.
You wouldn't probably just fart.
Or if we were back at the hotel, getting it on or whatever, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to fart. Which is really probably not attractive. But back then, you wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have been like, sorry, I just need to fart. How do you just like hold it in back then?
Yeah, you must do, yeah. Or you go to the toilet, I guess.
Or is it just different? You don't get as much like gas when you're younger?
No, I don't think that's a thing.
No?
I think you're just mindful of it, aren't you?
Yeah, maybe. Any others?
The farting's a big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Farting is a big one. Cuddling in bed, yeah.
Just being on your A game, isn't it? Just like making more of an effort, like that feeling. But I guess it's not about you doing it for the other person. Maybe it's just how you feel back then. More freedom.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's just anything that's new is exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
we're doomed, really.
We are doomed, yeah.
If anyone's got any others that they can think of, things that you used to do for your partner, or like even back in the day, someone you dated, like the things that you do then.
Oh yeah,
to now.
You cannot be asked with now.
Like we were
Definitely.
laughing in that we said if we had to go back out in the dating scene, what would that be like?
Oh, I can't imagine.
What would that be like?
But I never did the dating scene thing. Like I never really dated. Like I didn't go out on dates with people.
You just didn't know who it was, did you? By the end of the night, it was so drunk like, you didn't know. Yeah, whatever. Oh, yo, love, come with me. Yeah. You're gonna get the night of your life.
Yeah, unless I fall asleep first, which is quite likely.
Quite likely. I think if we were having to go back out in the dating market, who do you think would get like picked up? Who do you think would get a date first?
Oh, you.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, because I think more guys are more used to reaching out to girls. If that makes maybe TikTok, maybe not TikTok. What's that other one where you do the swipe thing?
Grindr? Tinder?
Grindr's the gay app, isn't it?
Okay.
The gay version.
Tinder.
We've had a funny night on Grindr. Do you remember when Jamie got a Grindr?
Oh my God, we shouldn't say his name.
Oh, we shouldn't say his name. It wasn't Jamie.
Years
Somebody
ago,
else.
he'd met someone on like this app, Grindr, and we were out having a drink. And he's like,
yeah, we just got drunk, didn't we?
We're like, so what happens then? Really intrigued. He's like, yeah, you just sort of like
hook up. It's a hookup app.
So he's chatting to him, and the guy's like, oh, I live nearby. I'm going to come meet you. We're like, what? Like, yeah, this guy's just going to come and meet.
11 o'clock at night, wasn't it? After
and we're
the
like,
pub.
are you sure this is safe? He's like, yeah. So we walked into the bus stop. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And
we sort
of like hid. And then we saw him just like walk off with this guy. And we were like hiding, going, what? And like following him, weren't we?
Yeah.
Just to make sure that he got home like safe. It was like, how random. It's just, yeah, but I guess that's the way of the world. Loads of people do like online dating.
I guess so.
I think I've got a challenge.
Go on.
Do you know what I think would be really, really fun?
What?
Here's an idea.
We both got on a Grindr date.
No, we don't actually go on a date. Oh, God, I couldn't bear it. I reckon we should set up each other a Grindr profile.
It's not Grindr. Grindr is the gay app.
Sorry, Tinder.
I would make out like a bandit on Grindr.
You would, yeah.
FYI.
I wouldn't. I've got like offish vibes. I think we should set up each other a Tinder profile. I'll write yours and you write mine. And you're allowed to select, let's say, like 5 pictures that we can upload of one another. And in the next episode, we can read it out.
Oh, this is good.
What we've written.
This is good.
And then we'll actually put it out live.
Only issue is, like what happens, let's say, for example, that you put it out there as a joke. Yeah. You're like, oh, this is so funny. And then all of a sudden, the man of your dreams swipes left.
Well, I have to just see what happens.
Like, hello, Hayley, my name is Francois.
And I'll be like, hello, Francois. I'm in a committed, loving relationship.
Forget about him. I will cook for you. I will make love to you.
But I think that's great.
I will give you cash money.
If you think that's a great idea, let me know. I think we should do it.
Should we go on Tinder?
Yes.
Set up our Tinder.
And see who would get the most, would you get, likes?
I don't think it's about likes, isn't it? You probably just end up with like, who gets the most dick pics?
Oh, it's brilliant. Let's do it. Competition
How does
Tinder.
it even work?
I have no idea. We're going to find out.
Oh, God.
So for the next episode, I'm going to write your profile and you're going to write mine.
What about, like, I wonder if there's anyone of our people that we know and you like appear on their thing. I wonder if someone saw yours, be like,
oh my God,
do you know
James is on
there is one for like hooking up for an affair. Do you know
really?
That? Yeah, it's called Jenny something.
Surely people aren't going to be putting their actual photos on there.
They do. They go on this hookup app, but it's kind of like considered that everyone knows they're going on there to do it. My mate used to do the PR for it. I was like,
very random.
I can't get my head around it. Yeah, it's literally an app for having affairs. It's fucking mad.
What's the name?
I don't know. tideolddick.com.
Tideolddick. Love it. Gonna go there. And on that note,
so we're actually going to do this,
we're going to do it. So next episode.
If you lot think it's a good idea, if you think we're on dodgy territory here.
We'll take it down, but after. But we're literally, I'm writing your profile and I can choose 5 photos and vice versa.
But do we have to do like do we do like a nice profile, or do we do an honest profile?
What do you think I'm going to do? There might be a little bit of sarcasm in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There might be a bit of sarcasm.
Okay.
I'm going to highlight your best points.
What happens if, let's say, like, you know, your first love, what if your first love reconnects with you and goes,
it's not going to happen.
Oh my goodness, you're back in the market. I've always loved you. I've never stopped loving you.
I don't have that.
Was he the one who looked like Freddie Mercury?
No, definitely not. I don't have a first love.
You must have a first love.
Not really. You're still going.
Yeah, but I'm not your first love, am I?
Well, oh, okay. Maybe there was someone at primary school that I used to be like, oh, I adore you. But I wouldn't, if he come knocking my door, I'd be like, I haven't seen you in like 30 years. Like, I'm all right.
But you must have, like, you loved people before me.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be like, I split up with all of them for a reason. I was always the one that, like, I've never been like heartbroken. Oh, no, I've never been heartbroken. I'm the heartbreaker.
On Tinder, all of a sudden. What happens if we go on Tinder? Because you remember back in the day, you'd have like what do you call it? A hall pass, like a celebrity. Like if that celebrity ever came up to you, you could.
Oh, that'd be a good thing to do one week.
But one of mine back in the day used to be Fern Cotton, and I met Fern Cotton, and I don't think you felt too comfortable about it. She's not on my list anymore.
All right.
But there you go. But what happens? Let's say, for example, like I go onto Tinder, and like who's like Jet from Gladiators is on there. She's like, hey,
she's probably a bit old now.
It's still an absolute rocket.
What are you saying? It's like saying if someone walked down the street and went, oh my God, are you James Burtt of the Business Marriage Podcast? Oh my God, I fancy you. And you're like, yeah, she's a bit of all right. I know. What do you want me to say?
Know. Yeah, how would you feel about that?
Are you going to have an affair?
Well, I don't know. It's Jet from Gladiators.
Well, if you're not sure, James, that says more about you than me. Have a word with yourself.
It's Jet from Gladiators.
Okay.
It's Jet from Gladiators.
Okay, great. Yeah. All right.
Jet from Gladiators. I'm just saying
Ryan Reynolds, Bradley Cooper, anyone like that happens to walk through the door, what's going to happen? I'm going to leave you. Is that what you're saying?
Probably.
I mean, probably will. Anyway, so next week.
My mate worked with Bradley Cooper, and apparently he's as nice as you think he is.
Oh, I so love hearing that.
He's really nice.
Thank you. I love that.
There you go.
I love him. I love him.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in.
Next week.
Tinder or bust.
Tinder competition.
How do we rate the competition? Like how many will work out?
Yeah.
I have to download the app.
If anyone knows how it works, let us know.
I can't wait to see if somebody's like, mate, have you seen Hayley's on Tinder?
Especially
what about if one of our mates gets in touch and wants to go on a date?
Oh, that's creepy.
What about?
Oh my God.
I'm not being funny. Let's say that one of our best pals, Gary, maybe he's had a different way of thinking. He's like, bro, you say bro.
No.
But let's go on a date. I think we can make it. Let's take our bromance to the next level.
James,
how do I deal with that?
It's just going to be so many obstacles. We're just going to have to try and overcome them.
Oh, let's hope it goes all right. This could be dangerous territory. Anyway, thank you for getting in touch with us. If you have already, if you haven't yet done so, click the link in the show notes or email hello@businessmarriagepod.com, and you can either have a small business shout out, you can admit you've been a bit of a mug, or you can just share the love with the podcast and leave us a review. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
This show is a Phonic Media production.